climate of theological controversy, many people will think that inconsistent. Well, they're simply wrong. It is possible to be committed and fair, critical and generous. For Calvinism proves it, and my hearty endorsement reveals it. Roger E. Olson. Introduction. Calvinism and Arminianism. Why bother? Calvinists are the chosen frozen. Become one and you're sure to lose not only your evangelistic and missionary zeal, but also the heartfelt joy of a personal relationship with Christ. The pursuit of holiness will wane. Calvinism is a religion of the head, not the heart or the hands. Many people have certain assumptions about what Calvinism will lead to, on the basis of misunderstandings about what it teaches and therefore where it logically leads. Calvinism ranks knowing above feeling and doing. Doctrine over life, it is often assumed. Underscoring God's sovereignty, human sinfulness, even that of believers, justification by an imputed righteousness, and utter dependence on grace surely undermines personal responsibility. And if you stress God's sovereignty and grace too much, you'll not only stop evangelizing, you'll stop praying, praising, and pursuing holiness. It's a recipe for disaster. But the actual history of Calvinism, including what Calvinists have consistently written, preached, prayed, sung, and witnessed, doesn't fit the stereotypes. Of course, one may encounter cold and joyless Calvinists, but is that a generally valid characteristic, or is it a caricature? And when people run into Calvinists of this sort, is it a reflection of personal characteristics and conditions, or of the doctrine itself? And if Calvinists have in fact been in the vanguard of evangelism and missions, as I'll point out later, then is it possible that critics have misunderstood the logic and implications that they ascribe to Calvinism? Critics have frequently confused Calvinism with hyper-Calvinism, and sometimes contact with hyper-Calvinists proves the caricature. Often bowled over by a sense of God's majesty and grace, new Calvinists enter what we call the cage phase. Like any new convert, we can be hard to live with when we've just experienced a radical paradigm shift. Why weren't we taught this when it seems so evident in Scripture? How can our fellow Christians ignore these doctrines and even squelch any discussion? In this condition, enthusiasm can turn to frustration and even to arrogance and divisiveness. Only superficially acquainted with Reformed teaching at this stage, we swing from one extreme to the other, misunderstanding and misrepresenting these doctrines. This often proves the caricature. No doubt many critics of Calvinism have encountered this, and it puts them off from taking a second look at the position. However, mainstream Calvinism has been associated with personal renewal as well as doctrinal reformation. In fact, Reformed piety has resisted the false choice between head and heart, doctrine and life, church and individual. In the 16th and 17th centuries, both Lutheran and Reformed traditions reflected a concern for doctrine and life as one integrated pattern. Like the Reformers themselves, the evangelical movement was deeply impressed with the significance of Christian truth for daily living. That is why the Bible was translated into the common languages of the people and widely distributed to parishes and households, along with catechisms, prayer books, and psalters. Grace was not just a doctrine, but a person, namely God Himself in Jesus Christ, clothed in the gospel. Hearts were filled with thanksgiving and joy in the presence of a holy God who had forgiven, justified, and renewed sinners, with the assurance of resurrection in the age to come. It was not just a collection of great ideas that turned Christendom upside down, but a radical experience of grace. It changed the way people related to God and to each other, and this is the experience of many Christians today as well. In the United States, historians and sociologists have long observed the disintegration of the Reformation, and particularly Calvinist